This is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. We're here on Xbox Series X, diving in and doing a review of the game, while also talking about what's really the first big update to the experience. So prior, I had done a video showcasing the Great Circle, just kind of the opening, talking about it a little bit technically, and now we're kind of doing a deep dive after having streamed the whole thing, if you want to watch that, and played it and dove into it, and seen everything that Indiana Jones and this Great Circle adventure has to offer. So this is a game that is telling a tale for Indiana Jones between the events of the original and the Last Crusade. You get to enjoy the action of first person and then also randomly third person too in between scenes. It's kind of awkward, honestly, as you... What just happened there? That was awkward. As you switch between these two varying visual perspectives. So it's kind of like, it's really weird because at one point, I hate the combat in this. At one point, you'll like start your swing in first person, then you'll go into third person as you're swinging, and then you'll go back into first person as you finish your swing. It's nonsensical, honestly. It really is. They should have picked a lane and just stuck with it. Anyways, the story itself, decently lengthy. The game is at its best when it's in cinematics or when you are doing more linear set levels. These open world type environments just don't really do it for me. It's still a great action-packed experience and one that I think is really on par with what you expect from Indiana Jones. Maybe a little too whimsical and silly at times, but I think that is a bit of the charm of Indy too, is just the ridiculousness of the situations that he finds himself in. You'll be solving puzzles, you'll be going off and exploring weird crypts and tombs and lost places and doing everything Indiana Jones would do. You've got a great sidekick where there's weirdly no romance, then a bit of romance, and then maybe not, and then but yeah, there's some weird stuff with this one. And like I said, I don't really love the open world stuff. I know some people are really into the idea of an open world Indiana Jones adventure, and some of the levels are open. And you can do like weird side quests. You can, wow, I genuinely don't like the combat in this. You can go and basically do like fetch quests where you go and collect like tablets and what is cool though is you can use the environment too. You can pick up like, there's these random objects and things. You could be like, oh, there's a hammer mallet, or there's like, oh, a big sledgehammer, and you can, you know, smack people with them, and you got to use that to your advantage. And it's not as complex as you quite think it might be. And the game is prone to crashing too on the Series X. It doesn't seem like the update really fixed that. Anyways, I digress. This is a really cool Indiana Jones experience, though. When it is working, when it is playing, when you are going off and exploring and enjoying it, it's really, really genuinely quite great. As I said, the linear set level areas are really cool. The style, the opening of the game is really, really quite exciting. I do also feel that this is kind of a bit of a niche sort of offering for a specific demographic and age group and everything, but I will say that, you know, as far as like voice performance goes, they really nailed capturing that feel of being a young Harrison Ford. It really is just quite spectacular. I don't want to get rid of my main slot. We'll get rid of this one, yeah. And you get different difficulty options, puzzle stuff, all these different settings that allow you to enjoy the magic of being Indiana Jones. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, so let's dive in and let's talk about the technical settings here. So a big part of this particular update is that they have enhanced the ray trace global illumination to make sure that the lighting is a little bit more realistic, and it's not, I guess the way settings were done in regards to darkness and stuff was a little not quite right, and they've toned that, and honestly it makes a big deal. Again, ray tracing, guys, is quite the thing, and certainly the future when it comes to you know, visual aesthetics in video games. Seriously, it just, if you want to redo things because you don't like how it looks, you just adjust how the lighting settings work, and it's real lighting. You can play the game in widescreen or cinematic. There's motion blur settings, film grain, color filtering choices, whatever you want to do. And then there's also a streamer mode, which is genuinely appreciated as always. And this is like, you know, again, you get to see more picture It's more film-like. Personally, when I play video games, I like them to be widescreen to take the whole screen because, well, we're not, we're not playing movies, we're playing video games, right? But this is a nice way to kind of really take in a fuller picture if that is, the way you want to go about it. But I kind of like the widescreen, and I played through the game using this, and that was kind of my preference. So it's 1800p is kind of the cap here. So it's like a 4K, but it goes up to 1800p dynamic at 60 FPS. It is largely smooth. You might get the odd kind of environmental world stutter thing, or during cinematics it might dip, but they've kind of cleaned that up a little bit, so it's a little bit better. Yeah, and then again, like I kind of mentioned here, the illumination changes are actually, to me, pretty noticeable, even going through this initial opening. I just kind of assumed they were going for, like, a lot darker of a vibe, so kind of actually makes, like, a world of difference. So if you're coming in playing this fresh, I think you will be pleasantly surprised by that. There's HDR support, there's Dolby Atmos support, there's VRR, variable refresh rate, that's part of this one. And yeah, if they could clean up the crashes, that would be great, or at least introduce the ability to skip cinematics. That would be nice, because there were times when it crashed and I'd have to like rewatch like a 15-20 minute cinematic and not be able to skip it and be like, why? That was pain. Yeah, that was painful. And it's just like totally random too, like it crashes all the time on the Series X. It totally random times, and it's like during cinematics, during gameplay, during pauses. I don't know, it's weird. Kind of buggy. But like outside of that, we've got a pretty competent experience. It's an interesting setup. I do wish the MacGuffin of the Great Circle was a little bit more interesting. I do think this is very on brand for Indiana Jones, which for me was a lovely experience because I am a big fan of Indiana Jones. I understand that it is older cinema, and it is for an audience of that time, but I do think if you want a fun adventure, a fun journey, a game that captures sort of the essence and the feel and the vibe of being Indiana Jones, this is pretty cool. I don't remember him drinking the water before. Maybe it's because I triggered it with the dart. That's interesting. I've redone this beginning scene like several times because I was doing comparison videos and stuff. But yeah, quite a difference here for sure. Yeah, so story-wise, yeah, the Great Circle, we're kind of fighting for these pieces from across the globe in order to gather them and fend off, of course, the Nazis, the bad guys. They're trying to grab these stones. We're trying to beat them to it. And then you go off and you meet Gina. She's like basically your companion in this one. And like I said, when you are doing the linear segments, there's one on this cool boat and it's frozen, and there's this big Nazi boat up in this frozen peak. It's such a cool level. There's a good amount of emotional levity to it. Very, very well done. This lighting is like transformative for this scene. Holy. It really does look different. I am kind of amazed. Seriously. I feel like they messed up with the launch of it almost with how different the lighting looks in this. Bum, 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 bum. Isn't that amazing? Like the visual detail and stuff. Oh. I can't get over how different this looks compared to what I saw before. Huh, didn't used to crash in the opening segment. That's a bit weird. That's really, really weird. Might be an update thing. Yes, I know, Bethesda, you're giving yourself a pat on the back for making Indiana Jones. I know. Yep. Yeah, I get it. MachineGames. Good job, guys. And then there's like another linear level where you're like in the middle of this war that's going on. It's really, really quite exciting. And just anytime the game was like tighter in focus and not having you do fetch quests as indie, to me that was the most exciting and interesting part of this experience. I love those levels. I thought they were so cool. It's just like doing side stuff. I just really do not care. Like if the game is good enough, I will sit there and I will do side stuff because I want to, right? But like some of the main quests, like he spent half an hour wandering around in the desert collecting tablets, and that's part of your main story, as to say. And for me, that's just not Indiana Jones. Like, I don't know. For me, I'm not into that style of gameplay. Other people might be. I don't care for it. And yeah, there's like stealth, and the AI in this game is pretty dumb. Really dumb. But also strangely hard to fight, and you might want to adjust difficulties for combat just to make it a little bit more engaging. And some cutscenes you can skip, but some of them it doesn't allow you. Unless they've since updated that to change those cutscenes. Hard to say, because I'm not able to see every single part of this update, right? But, yeah, it is definitely something that I think is technically really impressive, outside of the performance, like crashing issues and stuff. But, like, to get, like a near 4K at 60 FPS, having it run as smooth as it does, have it look as good as it does, have global illuminated ray tracing in it, kind of a thing of wonders, honestly. The fact that they were able to pull that off is a genuinely impressive sort of feat. And I think the lighting is just, like, so different now in this. Wow, that is some weird texture loading problems right there. Do you notice that? And it keeps, like, stuttering? Ooh, okay. That's... Oh. I don't think it's supposed to... This update might have... Oh, that's... Oh, okay, so it's the ray trace global illumination causing some problems, because it's... Oh. That's why the lighting keeps turning on and off. That's what's causing these extra crashes in the opening? Oh, no. Oh, no, because you could see, because that's the illumination turning on and off. Because of the scene transitioning. That's so bad. Well, at least we know this isn't my Xbox. What is going on? Here, I need a hand. It's like there's not even audio playing right now. It's transformative is what it is. It's transformative. That was a crazy moment right there, right, bro? That was a crazy moment. There's not even audio playing right now, is there? Huh. That's a weird one. Can you actually swim away in this? But you could swim in here? I didn't even think of that. I mean, why would you swim? You would go and do the back area thing, but... I'm starting to think there may have been some technical issues introduced with this this most recent update of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I was kind of hoping for like a definitive review kind of thing, but wow, that is quite something. I just wish they would allow you to skip all of this opening crap. Like, yes, I know it's Lucasfilm, but when it crashes and you see Lucasfilm, you see that over and over again. It's, yeah, I know ID Tech, it's a great engine, except for the technical problems. Alright, here we go, we're back. The temple's just right up there. I didn't know you could swim around in here, though. That's so cool. Like, you can actually, like, explore the scene and stuff. I'm actually so intrigued by that, because I just thought this was just, like, a backdrop. I didn't realize it was actually, like, an area of exploration. Like, what is the point of even developing all of this? Like, this, nobody's gonna go over here except for a weirdo like myself, right? Like, there's genuinely no reason in actually even creating this part of this game. Like, I mean, and actually allowing the player to move along to it. I mean, it's cool for immersion, but really quite illogical if you think about it. Bum, ba, bum, 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 ba, bum. So when the game is working, it's pretty neat. I do have some issues here and there with stuff. Obviously, the crashing was a bit of a problem, but it's just really cool to have an Indiana Jones game like this. And I would certainly like to have more adventures with this character. Obviously, I think they've shown that they can make something that is cinematic in nature. Oh, there's another one of the things that you find, and there's a big thing, like there's lots of collectibles, and at the end of the game there's a big kind of thing you can do if you have all the stuff, and you gotta find all these like hidden secrets and things, and the lighting, it really is a world of difference compared to what I had first experienced. I might actually have to go reshoot my comparison footage because the lighting composition is completely different now.
This is it.
It's amazing how much adjusting the lighting of this setting can change the mood of something.
He was very, very good.
Senor, nobody has come out of there alive.
Oh, get out of here, Melina. Oh, we'll be fine. Regardless, the puzzles are okay in this. I don't think I ever really got stuck at any point puzzle-wise. Oh, you can actually see in the tunnel now. Wow, amazing. Yeah, I don't think I ever really got truly kind of stuck. There were some things where I just didn't have to care too much to sit there and think out the puzzles, but they were all, I think, decently logical. I think you most of the time knew where you were going. I think everything functionally as far as going through the game was fine outside of the crashing and everything like that. I think the performances were really good. I liked the locations you got to visit. Although they were very reminiscent of places you already go in the other, like, actual films of Indiana Jones. You can actually see the spiders and stuff. Well, I might actually have to sit here and reshoot. I think I'll have to reshoot all my comparison footage. Oh, great. Great, great, great. Yeah, it's not like I got anything better going on in my life, am I right?
Stop. Stay out of the light.
But this recreation here of the opening is truly quite a good way to kick things off and really get that nostalgia going for people. It sets the tone of the game, the setup, and the scenario, and it's just kind of like really, really fun to see this come alive like it does. I get to see such an iconic moment in a video game that you get to interact with. The rest of the game, though, is a lot more open in how you get to approach things and do combat and do stealth and do exploration. Of course, it was really cool to see some other characters kind of be referenced or popped in here. Obviously, Indy was his buddy at the college. Like, Brody's always fun to see in these adventures, and yeah, I think there really is a lot to love in this. There are definitely some problems I had from, like, I don't like to do really fetch quests, especially as Indy. I mean, the open world stuff, you're either going to be really into it or you're not. That's going to be up to the individual. I did find the AI to be a little lackluster. But I mean, it's, believability versus stealth and stuff, and blah, blah, blah. The combat I didn't really love, and it's not really a gun game, so the shooting is really, they try not to make it a shooter, which is fine. The puzzle solving was okay. Sometimes the puzzles were overly simple, and I would, like, overthink something, or, like, look for something that wasn't there, and I don't know. I'd say the most exciting parts for this really kind of were when cutscenes and stuff were playing. It kind of makes me just want like a really good Indiana Jones movie, hilariously. But I did like the linear levels. I did like the characters. I did like the idea of this. I do wish the MacGuffin was a little bit more enticing and interesting and a little bit more eye-catching. But it's fun when it's really kicking off. It's a good time. If you're a fan of Indiana Jones, you'll probably have to play this game and experience it. I don't know if this is going to really resonate for people outside of that sort of style, but it is a fun game, it is a fun action game, and I think a lot of it hits the mark. Great performances, great set pieces. There's a lot to like in this. There are some problems that arise, but I think for the most part, you'll probably find it to be a pretty rewarding Indiana Jones experience if you are a fan of the character. I just don't know how many people that aren't familiar with Indy will really be into this or care about it, and that might be a bit of an issue, but it is kind of a cool adventure. I I enjoyed seeing this come alive like it did. That was really, really cool to see another game with this IP, and one that did largely deliver.